Bitcoin BTC minus 1% fell below $30,000 per coin in May. Everyone is wondering if Bitcoin would ever reach $100,000. While a 3.3 times gain in price may seem out of reach for many by the end of 2022, such growth is not unheard of, particularly for Bitcoin. When Bitcoin fell 40% in March 2020 due to COVID-19-induced market turmoil, it rallied more than 10 times in the 12 months that followed. While past occurrences are not a forecast of future performance, we may be able to draw similarities to give us confidence in anticipating market direction. So, let's look at why Bitcoin will be worth $100 in 2022. But first, we'll return to your channel Cardano Insider, where you'll get all of your crypto information. Please keep in mind that this video is not financial advice, so do your study before investing anyplace. So, without further ado, let's get started. I was thinking that if we talked about Bitcoin and the current concern in public, it would help you guys relate to the current situation and, as a result, make better decisions. Market downturns are characterized by a pervasive undertone of dread, whereas market exuberance is marked by greed. Any fear and greed index will tell you that May 2022 is a fearful month in both the Bitcoin and stock markets. A low number indicates that we are getting closer to total fear, whereas a high number indicates that we are getting closer to total greed. The index reached a low of 10 in early May, which is only similar to the index of 8 reached on March 17, 2020. While the Fear and Greed Index is only a surface-level indicator of market mood, it should not be utilized to make or break your trading approach. It merely serves as a data point for assessing the underlying market dynamics. Professional traders and influential investors, such as Robert Kiyosaki, believe Bitcoin has further to fall before making any form of recovery. Bitcoin, according to Kiyosaki, might reach $17,000 or possibly as low as $11,000 in the near future. In the event that the stock market continues to fall, these types of values are still valid. As traders and institutional investors remove risky holdings, Bitcoin may face additional selling pressure. Because Bitcoin is still regarded a hazardous asset, there may not be enough buying activity to hold Bitcoin over $20,000. You must also be curious about the current direction of Bitcoin. For the majority of 2021, Bitcoin experienced an upward trend, causing its price to surge past the $65,000 barrier, propelling the overall crypto market to reach the $3 trillion level. However, when the crypto market entered a slumber state and the prices of all cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, plunged, the cryptocurrency showed an upward trajectory when Tim Bako erupted. Following the announcement of the Ethereum update in September, BTC continued his march towards the $25,000 mark, but appeared to have become congested about $24,000. This statistic was unaffected when the U.S. Federal Reserve had another meeting to hike interest rates and combat inflation. Surprisingly, the cryptocurrency fell below $22, demonstrating that there is still enormous volatility in its market movements and that investors should be exceedingly cautious before diving deep into the crypto seas. McGlone believes that BTC may be benefiting from these deflationary factors. He feels that the token is more advantageous than previously thought, and that given its present performance, the crypto will most certainly approach $100,000 in the next months. In fact, he expects that the values of both Bitcoin and gold will rise in the coming months. Now, to return to our primary point of how Bitcoin could hit $100 in 2022, it appears that Bitcoin, as well as the rest of the market, is in a substantial slump with limited prospects for recovery. As a result, I believe Bitcoin is unlikely to reach $100 by the end of the 22nd. However, there are a few catalysts that might set off a classic Bitcoin rally and push the price higher. For example, when the stock market was about to crash in March 2020, the Federal Reserve stepped in and enacted quantitative easing, arguably saving the market from an impending meltdown. The technique of producing additional money in order to acquire bonds and assets is known as quantitative easing. This helps the economy by lowering interest rates and maintaining market confidence. If the conventional markets deteriorate enough, we may witness a replay of March 2020, resulting in additional inflows into public markets, including Bitcoin. Quantitative easing has traditionally resulted in market growth and an increase in the price of publicly traded assets. Bitcoin is no exception. Once quantitative easing began in March 2020, Bitcoin increased by roughly 600%. Before the end of the year, another factor to consider is the continued adoption of Bitcoin at the institutional and governmental levels. Historical Bitcoin bull runs have been driven mostly by supply constraints combined with growing retail customer demand. However, there is now a compelling value proposition for countries and corporations alike wishing to protect themselves from stomach inflation in their individual currencies. Despite a 50% drop from all-time highs in late 2021, Bitcoin continues to carry the narrative of being an excellent store of value. According to this narrative, firms like MicroStrategy, Nasdaq, MSTR, and Block Nasdaq SQ continue to buy Bitcoin in order to combat inflation and protect the purchasing value of their treasuries over long time periods. So, when will Bitcoin reach $100,000? According to experts, predicting when Bitcoin will reach $100,000 is rather simple. Given its previous interactions with some of the world's most recognizable brands and quick increase in market value. Most critics predict that the value of BTC would likely go as low as $10,000 before reaching $30,000. Predicting when Bitcoin will reach $100,000 is certainly difficult, but for now, we can only hope that its price does not go below $20,000 and that it is not impossible for Bitcoin to reach $100,000 in 2022. Although it is doubtful, multiple elements must align precisely in order for Bitcoin to more than triple to $100,000. First, the global economy must continue to recover and strengthen. Following that, Bitcoin must see a sustained period of demand and buying. Last but not least, larger entities such as institutions, central banks, and governments must integrate Bitcoin into their strategy, monetary policies, and economies. With all of these variables in mind, I believe Bitcoin will hit $100,000 in 2023 or 2024. If you're thinking about investing $1,000 in Bitcoin right now, you'll want to hear this. Our award-winning experts have just released their top 10 stocks for investors to buy right now. Bitcoin was not among them. Motley Fool Stock Advisor, their online investing service that has been running for 2 decades, has outperformed the stock market by 3 times asterisk, and I believe there are 10 stocks that are better buys right now. So that's it for today's video. Remember to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you tomorrow in the next video. Peace out until then.